Welcome to ARK Survival Evolved, a game where you wake up on the beach with this weird thing in your arm, try to survive, and figure out exactly where you are and ultimately how to escape. Oh, and there's dinosaurs. We're going to do 100 days of ARK Survival Evolved on the island map. Alright, we've got no map here. I just reinstalled the game, and we're going to start doing what we do. Punch trees, collect rocks, make a fancy spear, and kill a dodo. There you are. In the face. Then we're gonna chop him up and make some clothes. Now I gotta show this Dillo who's boss. Suck on that, Dillo. We make a new friend and get our first tame. You will be Jeffy, or Hefe, if you will. And then we find a better one. Ooh, you're even better. You'll be good, Jeffy. And you will now be my refrigerator. Okay. Then we decided to lay down camp right where we spawned in, so I built us a straw hut, I made a mortar and pestle, and began my narcotics making business. As the sun went down on my first day, I gathered my new friends and took a screenshot for the thumbnail. I leveled up through the night and farmed for more narcotics. We needed the narcotics to make trank arrows, which we used to tame animals. I had started converting my house from thatch to wood and learned the bola, which is my favorite. Oh, and I took down a level 8 pterodon. Yeah. Tell your friends. I was finally level 21 so I could make a bunch of narcotics arrows. I finished up my house, but I kept the thatch roof because I think it looks good. Then I started to work on the smithy by getting a whole bunch of rocks. With some metal smelting, I could get back to my narcotics. When I was ready to make my smithy, I discovered I was just a few hides short, but this kind dodo was happy to volunteer. I made the smithy, but then realized that I forgot to turn clipping off, so I had to kind of place it in the middle of the room. We made a big leap forward with metal tools, and I'm feeling great about our progress. But first, we need a preserving bin to keep things from spoiling so fast. Here. Yes. Then I tamed a bunch of ichthyosaurus, just because I could. I have a fish army! Good Jeffy took down a level 3 trike. Yeah, she's kind of a badass. But she got a taste for it after that, and ate this before I could harvest it. All right. We had a little talk. Hopefully he's cool now. I'm gonna need you to get more hide if you're gonna eat stuff though, okay? Day 3, I went and checked on the Survival Bob swim team and gave them some saddles. Next, I added a nice wraparound porch and got metal to make a crossbow. Now I could take down those level 8 pterodons in one shot. Suck on that, pterodon. Feeling confident with my metal tools and new crossbow, I crossed the water in search of crystal and metal nodes. This stingray, however, had other plans for us. While I'm laying here with a broken leg, it's probably a pretty good time to explain something. You see, my name's Survival Bob, and I'm a Bob. A Bob in ARK is somebody who is a noob who sits on the beach not knowing what to do. You see, I've started ARK probably 10 or 20 times. I'm pretty good at the beginning, but I usually lose interest halfway through building a base and after I've tamed several animals. I saw these guys doing the 100 days thing and I thought, hey, if I give myself 100 days, I'd have to stay focused and have an end goal. So that's what I did. My goal is to ascend to get off the island in 100 days. I have no idea if it's possible or not for me, but that's what we're going for. So thank you to all the guys who came before me and inspired me to do this. I'll put links to their channels in the description. Oh, and this is obviously not a hardcore series, if that's not obvious. I'm a Bob. I am going to die. Probably a lot. All right, we ready? Halfway up the mountain, I see a Tapajara, or Tapahara, or whatever. Anyway, I tried to tame him, but he ran off, and I didn't get him. Did, however, get my crystal and as much metal as I could carry to head back home. Oh, and I grabbed my first explorer's note. These are scattered all over the island and give you some of the lore and background, as well as an XP boost. When I was about to head back across the water, I noticed a couple sharks swimming, so I found a friend and asked him if he wanted to go with me, this parasaur. So I tied him up, shot him in the face, fed him some berries, and named him Bait. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Bait is not working! Damn you, piranha! I seriously hate piranha. I must have died to them 20 times the first time I played trying to recover my stuff before I said F it. Alright, I guess you can come back. I took Bait home since he survived, and I took my aggression out on some poor dodos on the way home. Alright, Jeffy, good Jeffy, this is Bait. So, yeah, make him feel at home. I even made him this fancy saddle with the skin. Look at you. Bait, what are you doing out here? Day 4 started with my animals being scattered everywhere for no apparent reason. I found Bait out in the water, one of my ichthyos was dead, and another one was being eaten by a shark. With my new spyglass, I went out in search of a good pterodon. Unfortunately, all I found was crap, so I ended up clearing out as many as I could by boloing them and shooting them in the face. I finally found this level 48, and he was low level, but I decided to tame him anyway. just to have the flyer. One shot to the face and he was out. Once my new pterodon was tamed up, we ran home where I made him a saddle and I made myself some parachutes. I've learned not to fly without them. I put the saddle on my new pterodon and took off to the skies for the first time. This Quetzal was still taunting me, so I did what anybody would do and chased after him for a while. He was still flying low, so I landed and took a few shots at him. And then I shot my pterodon. I jumped on my PT and started to chase him. I really wanted to tame one of these guys because I've never done it before, and they have this amazing platform saddle that you can build on or something. I don't really know. After 2 seconds of planning, I decided to jump off and shoot him in the butt. I would jump off, shoot him a couple times, float down, grab my PT, and do it all over again. This pretty much went on all afternoon, until I ran out of ammo, and then I floated back home, defeated. But I mean, hey, what was I gonna do? I had to go for him, right? Day 5 started with my morning chores, cooking, smelting, making drugs, but I had my eyes set on bigger things today. I'd seen a decent level trike on the beach and I really wanted to tame it. I got up on a hill where I could shoot down on him, and I thought he couldn't get to me because of the rocks and stuff that were in the way, but I was wrong. Oh god! That plan wasn't working, so I grabbed my pterodon and tried to lure him over to a better cliff. I never named you, did I? Crappy Flappy. Don't worry, I still love you. Crappy Flappy got me over to this nice high cliff where I was able to shoot down on him and knock him out. While the trike was taming, I saw these Dimorphodons and I wanted to tame him too. His girlfriend showed up, so I knocked her out and tamed her as well. You will be Fred, and you will be Wilma. Come on, Fred. Dimorphodons are tough little birds. They're great early tames because they're hard to hit and they smack pretty hard. While we were clearing the beach, I got attacked by this Trudon. Trudons suck because they inflict a torpor attack which can knock you out, which I immediately forgot about, and no, I passed out in the water. This is not gonna end well. Oh, no, 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 no. Dude. Oh, that was close. After another near-death experience involving stupidity in water, my trike was tamed up. You will be Trixie. Wait, are you a boy or girl? Yeah, you can't be Trixie. How about Mike? Mike the trike? I like that. You got this, Mike. Fred, Wilma, you're not gonna help? With our new pack growing in both size and strength, we asserted our dominance on this little cove. This is Bob's Beach now, guys. I started day 6 by finding bait in the water being eaten by a level 2 piranha with Crappy Flappy and my Ichthy just watching. Yeah, I don't know. I took Mike and Crappy Flappy across the treacherous water again on a metal run, feeling much more confident this time. We smacked a bunch of metal rocks and then headed back home. Along the way, I bowled a few low-level PTs for Mike to beat up on. I think Crappy Flappy was annoying him by buzzing around him all day. I know he was annoying me. On day 7, we rested. After we tore down some walls and expanded our home, I mean. We got a trough for the guys and moved everything around, adding furnaces for faster metal production, mortar and pestle for the drugs, and some large storage boxes for, well, storage. Day 8 started out normal until I saw her. Oh! Stop eating, go! A level 116 female pterodon. So we tied her up, shot her full of narcotics, made her ours, took her home to mate with Flappy. Sounds kind of bad, but that's ARK for you. On day 9, I decided to build a little farm because I know crops take time and when I need them, I won't want to wait for them to grow. I murdered this little guy for chitin, oil, and pearls. Seriously, these guys are everywhere on this beach. And then I irrigated, planted my seeds, and filled my plots with poop. After a night of waiting on my dinos to poop and collecting it, I decided to go tame a Phiomia, or as I call them, a poop cow. So the next day I flew all over looking for one. Seriously, it took all day. I ran into this big mamma jamma just wandering around, killed a bunch of stuff, and finally found a poop cow. Then I realized I forgot my crossbow, so I improvised, tamed him, and named him Turd Ferguson. When we got home, I put down another fert bin and made the poop cow go to work filling it. Now that is a lot of poop. Day 11! The hell am I gonna do today? Figured out how to turn on my map markers so I could see where I am and set out to open up some more of the map and scout around. I saw a yellow drop and went for it in between the swamp and the redwoods. It didn't go so well. Titanoboas also have a torpor effect. This is bad. Don't let me die. Thanks for the poop. Wake up! Ooh. I got the heck out of there and went to the volcano for some obsidian. Then spent the rest of the day exploring the southwest corner of the map. Day 12 started with harvesting some crops and giving myself a much-needed haircut. With my new do, Martha and I set out to see what we could find. Martha wandered off somewhere, leaving me to fend for myself. Damn it, Martha. Not cool, Martha. Yeah, okay. Alright, I forgive you. We made up, but then we chased this 104 Tapajara way too long. Oh, get stuck. Oh, please get stuck. It appears to be stuck. After killing the Carno and a little anal bleeding, I make my move. But that little punk flew off forever. Damn it. We kept exploring, hit a few beaver dams on the way home, and called it a night. We stayed home on day 13 doing some base work while incubating, hatching, and raising the pterodon eggs we had stored. Aren't they cute? I'm also trying to get the breeding and imprinting settings figured out so I could raise a good fully imprinted Rex army for the boss fights. Assuming I find some decent Rexes, that is. I wasn't able to get the timing down to get a good imprint before they were fully grown. Some of them didn't make it. I had planned to move my base up here, but this guy just wouldn't leave. So on day 14, we went exploring some more and started scouting for possible base locations. We headed to the southeast side of the map. Most of the day looked something like this. That is the coolest looking Tech Rex I have ever seen. It's level 1, of course. Until I got jumped by a Microraptor, but luckily I had a parachute. I don't fly without them anymore. On day 15, I decided to just try to expand my house again for now, but I realized that because of the drop that comes down right next to my base, I can't build in many places, even ones I've already built. It's so frustrating. Oh my god! I end up just slapping down a fabricator, busting out the other wall, and making some polymer because I really wanted some cryopods. I head over to Red Ob since I don't see any drops coming down to make them, and now I'm sure this game is messing with me because there's a drop right by my house when I get home. On day 16, I decide to quit messing around and go tame an RG. An RG or Argentavis really opens up the game. They're a tanky bird that can carry small animals and have great stamina and weight if leveled up properly. But I forgot the pieces for my taming pen, so I had to run back and get them. After setting up the taming pen, Martha and I set to killing all the RGs in the area until we can find a decent level tame. I spot a level 64 and I'm tired, and it's getting late. So I tame it, put my gear along with Crappy Flappy in a box, and head home. On day 17, my game sounds weren't working, but my PTs were fully grown, so I decided to take all my flyers and do a big metal run. After smacking the rocks and loading everyone up, we headed home, where I proceeded to pass out from dehydration. Apparently that's a thing. I got some water, set the metal to smelt, and fast traveled back to look for a better RG, this time with Crappy Flappy, who I had left in the box. It took until the middle of day 18 to find a better RG, and luckily my game sounds had come back on. So we caged him, shot him in the face until he went to sleep. This guy got pretty bloody and I was worried he wasn't going to make it. And then, he finally went down. I quickly threw some prime meat on him and went back out hoping for something better. And then I saw this lovely lady. But my pen was occupied at the moment. As soon as Homeboy tamed up, I stuck him in a cryopod and went back for her. Once my new girl was tamed up, I whistled her to follow me and we flew home. Very slowly, because RGs are much slower than pterodons. On day 19, I saddled up my RGs and went on an even bigger metal run. This time I decided to keep the stone and everything because I wanted to plan for a new base. And that hole in the wall actually came in handy when I wanted to unload all that beautiful metal into my forges. Because they were so happy to be there, the RGs decided to mate and give me a few eggs. So I spent the rest of the day raising babies and gathering mats for a new base. Alright, it's day 20. I realized I hadn't named my best RG, so I decided to name her Bronze Butt. Yes, I'm very creative. I loaded up Bronze Butt and Martha and headed to lay down the foundation for a new base. Martha was being pretty annoying, flying right up my butt the whole time. I don't know if I told y'all I named her Martha, but I named my good pterodon Martha. As I was laying down the foundation, the neighbors started to take notice. You guys, go away. So I hurriedly finished the walls and the rest of the house. Feeling satisfied with what I'd done, I headed back to my beach house to start packing. And it's moving day. Day 21 was spent moving and finishing up the base. We added a wraparound porch complete with smelting area that features easy access for loading and unloading, more storage for those hoarders out there, and a railing on the top for a porch or a taming area. Topped off with lighting so we can keep working all night long. For a change of pace on day 22, we headed to the swamp and tried not to die. This guy had other plans, however. We were on the hunt for a baryonyx and a frog to tame, and really anything else useful we could come across. These would be very helpful in caves. I discovered you cannot pick up a baryonyx anymore. I swear you could. And we spent the rest of the day killing every low-level frog and baryonyx we saw, which was pretty much all of them. Still in the swamp the next morning, I discovered a creature I'd never seen before. It didn't seem aggressive, so I let it be to keep looking. Unfortunately, I dropped him right on a snake, and he got eaten. Rip. Oh. Sorry, bud. With half the day gone, I settled for a level 64 frog and headed home to tame it. I named him Mr. Geck. If you know, you know. Whee! Alright, now that's fun. I don't care who you are. As I take him out for a spin, I come across a level 76 Therizinosaur that appears stuck, and I try to tame it. I ran out of tranks, and since he was on the run, I tried to knock him out with my frog, who had a torpor effect. I think he does, anyway. But I aggroed a baryonyx and had to run for my life. Day 24 started out great. We got Monkey Bob and Posy and put cute little hats on them. You like that? Alright, I dig it too. Little did I know the pain that was to come. Yep, that level 76 from yesterday came back for revenge. And this time he brought a few friends. Therizina, you got me. And when I got back to fight, I get KO'd immediately and have to lay there and watch Fred get killed. Fred! No! Eventually I get my guys rounded up and headed home to chill out for a bit. Alright, you're alive. On day 25 we searched the island and swamp, but nothing really exciting happening, except maybe this. Luckily he was level 4 because Billy just sat there and watched. I finished the day by cleaning up and smelting more metal. Love that metal. We spent the night mining obsidian in the volcano because I wanted to make some stuff in my fabricator on day 26. I ended up with a load of polymer, a canteen, scuba gear, a pump shotgun, a generator, refrigerator, and a few air conditioners. Then I found my chibi and decided to play with it for a bit. So what the hell is this thing? Relax, it's an ARK thing. Whoa! Well, hey little alien dude. What's up? So you follow me? Then things may have gotten a little weird. Hello. Nice to meet you. Don't judge. It's lonely out here. It might be a little big for you, but you'll grow into it, okay? Num num num. In hindsight, a drop in the swamp at night may not have been the best place to craft these, but we got 10 more cryopods, and this happened. I should really start wearing armor or something. It was day 27, and I had just watched a couple 100 Days of ARK videos on the island, and nobody was finishing. So I freaked out a little bit. We need to find something, and we need to tame it. I spent all day looking for a farming dino to help me, like an Anki or a Doedicurus, but it got late, so I just grabbed this lady beaver and brought her home. Then I knocked her out and tamed her. I got a saddle for the beaver. Man, can she plow through some wood. You'll be Lady Wood. Because you're a lady, and you like wood. It's not weird. I spent the rest of the day looking for better dinos to tame, but mostly spent it beating up on low-level ones, trying to get a good one to spawn. Day 29, I'm still out looking, but I've switched to Billy and started beating up on Rexes. Billy is Bronzebutt's kid, by the way. It looks like I punted this guy or something. I don't know, but it was funny. This goes on all day until I run across this level 112 Therizinosaur. Having learned my lesson, I decided to build a pen and try to trap it. So I spent the rest of the day putting this together. I know it looks stupid. I finally got him into my trap. Then he immediately got out and started beating up my RG. Switching the door frames to window walls helped me trap him and knock him out. I was very excited until I realized it was the wrong one. Finally got the right one in the trap and knocked him out. I was so worried about a good tame that I flew all the way home to get my vegetables and some narcotics, but I couldn't remember what they liked, so I just gave him everything at once. He tamed up and I named him Murder Chicken. The day was ending pretty good. And then I saw a red drop with a ring, so I had to go for it. And I picked up some flak boots and some saddles I didn't really need. I had spent the night grabbing drops, and on day 31, I found these cute little penguin things. And I shot them in the head, beat them with a club, and harvested their organic polymer. Seriously, this is one of the best ways to get it, guys. Write your letters to ARK, not me. On day 32, dressed up in my brand new ghillie I made from the organic polymer, I take out Murder Chicken to level up. And damn, was it fun. Murder Chicken, here we come. Murder Chicken. Suck it, Carno. You look like a little baby. I basically did this all day and into the next, so by day 33 I had him up to 20,000 HP and over 550 melee. I finally felt like I had a good mount that I could take into a fight. Then I saw a Doedicurus, so I threw out my RG, cryoed murder chicken, grabbed him, and took him home to tame. I think you will be Kid-Dicarus. I'm good with it. And boom! We smashed some rocks and did some base stuff the rest of the day. Anky time. I am determined to get an Ankylosaurus to help with metal. It's actually ridiculous that I don't have one already. And did I bring home an Anky? No, I got a Sabertooth. I have no idea what's wrong with me. Oh, and I built this walkway up the back to make it easier to shoot him. Once he woke up, I named him Battlecat and took him out for a spin. Yes, I know he's not green, but he looks awesome. After playing with Battlecat all day, I remembered I was supposed to be getting an Ankylo, so I ran out late at night and grabbed this guy and named him Good Enough, because, well, he's good enough. I started day 35 with another run through the Redwoods where I tamed a level 8 Tapajara. You will be crappy, tappy. And practiced my sniping skill. Miss, miss, miss. Nailed it. The rest of the day was spent smacking metal and smelting it in furnaces. Look at that great parking job. Day 36 and 37 were spent flying around the northern part of the map. I planned on looking for Rexes, but apparently they don't spawn up here, so I switched to Daeodons and Utyrannus's, both of which sucked. Utyrannus's have this fear roar that makes your bird run around uncontrollable for about 20 seconds. It sucks. I found a decent Daeodon and about had him knocked out when this pack of wolves jumped me. Rip, Monkey Bob. You will be missed. After striking out on Rexes, I headed to the mosh pit and was watching some videos on where to find Rexes.
One there. 140 male right there.
Oh, fuck you. While I was there, I did finally see a decent level Anky. Not that one. Yeah, that one, the 104. So I tamed him and stuck him in a Pokeball. By the time I finished taming the Anky, it was day 38. I spent the rest of the day along the Black Sands and at the edge of the Redwoods looking for Rexes, but I didn't see any. Day 39 started out the same. Oh, y'all messed up now. But then I decided to throw out my theory and set my RG to follow. We shredded everything on the beach, hoping to get a Rex and taking out some of my frustration. Check out this stego. I spent all day 40 farming, and on day 41, I started making a taming raft to go to the one place I was guaranteed to find Rexes, Carno Island. On day 42, I was marveling at my creation when all of a sudden I couldn't put down any more pieces. Was this some kind of ARK glitch? No, it was a raft build limit. Totally forgot about that, so I tore half my raft down and rebuilt it several times. Day 43, finally finished the raft and headed to Carno Island. It was pretty uneventful until I heard it. I couldn't remember if that big whale thing could destroy stone or not, but he's sure trying, and I don't want to find out. I get close to shore and try to wait him out. Dickhead. Take your sweet-ass time going down, huh? Eventually, I made it to Carno Island and started looking for my Rexes. But they all sucked, so I killed them, over and over. In fact, I killed everything on the island for 2 days, and still nothing above level 60. Oh, and let's not forget the anal bleeding. There was lots of anal bleeding. On day 44, this continued for the whole day. Again. Frustrated, on day 45, I went to the internet to figure out how to get higher level dinos to spawn by changing the ini files on my desktop save. Then I flew around trying to tell if it worked, and I started seeing some dinos in increments of 5, which meant it had. Then I looked up another video on how to do a dino wipe, backed up my game again just for good measure, and wiped everything on the island. By this time, I was over Carno Island, so I flew home and spent the night gathering resources for another new base I wanted to build. Not finding a Rex is beginning to wear on me. I'm afraid I'm not going to make it. I decided to take a break and go take out some frustrations with Murder Chicken. Shut up, Dodo. And see what I see just walking around the Redwoods. And what do I see but a level 135 Thylacolea? I was so excited. I threw out my RG and cryoed my theory, and grabbed him with no thought to what the hell I was going to do. Yep. And as you may have guessed, I killed Bronzebutt. And spent the rest of the day and night looking for it. I don't know what's wrong with me. As the sun is coming up on day 47, I spot something clinging to a tree. There you are. Now how do I get you down without getting my ass beat? You might be wondering why I'm asking how to get it down. Well, I had already tried grabbing them, and that didn't work out so well. Got him. I got her home this time and decided the wall should be higher, and then knocked her out. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh, look at you. I was having a hard time coming up with a name. I really wanted to do Murder Cat, but I already had a Murder Chicken, and then it hit me. I'm gonna name you Bobcat. Cause you're Bob's cat. Now that I finally had a good cave mount, it was time to start making some progress. So I took her out to the chitin cave to level her up and get the first artifact needed to summon the bosses. You see, you needed artifacts to summon each of the bosses, and you found those artifacts in caves, and you needed a good mount to get in the caves and not die. I literally got 50 levels in there between explorer notes and killing everything. I found it with no problem. Actually, I did get lost, then went and got another one just because I could. Day 49, I flew to the icebergs in the northwest and gathered a lot of organic polymer. Bang, 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 whack, 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 and you got 1,000 polymer. On day 50, I flew home and crafted everything. We've hit the halfway point, and if you're still here, thank you so much. Please hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you'd like to see another 100 days, let me know down in the comments. This is a new channel, so if we hit 1,000 likes, that would be amazing, and we'll do another 100 days for sure. I gotta speed this up a little bit. I basically spent the next 4 days, days 51 through 54, scouting for and building a new base location. I wanted to be right in the middle of the map so it'd be easy to travel everywhere, and I needed a larger base with room to expand for the Rex army I planned on binding and breeding and all of that stuff. And I also needed a place to stick all that cool new stuff I just made. Oh, and spiral staircases. I've never figured out how to make those work in a base, and I really spent some time trying to figure that out here. But then I had to tear one of them down because it was just in the damn way. Now, in the evening of day 55, I went out looking for Rexes again. Have I mentioned I hate microraptors? Well, I do. Hey, my monkey lived this time. Then I saw it. A level 145 Rex. That's it. I laid down a quick trap, which I had just learned about the other day in a video. I wasn't really sure if it was going to work, but I went after it. The great thing about a well-leveled Thyla is you can face tank a Rex while shooting from its back. This one had around 17,000 hit points, but it ended up getting stuck here, so I was able to just back up and shoot him in the face until he started to run. I'm so excited. Took about 60 darts. Then I stood guard over him until the taming was done. Look at her sleeping. Can't even see the little tiny arms. And once she was tamed, I named her TT because I was transferring items and hitting the T button when she tamed, so I kept it. Oh, look at you. You big, beautiful girl, you. I know, right, monkey? And on my way home, the ARK gods blessed me. What's that, 40, isn't it? Oh my god, it's a male 145. You've got to be kidding me. I ran back to the house to discover that I didn't have any narcotics. So I took out my beaver and went to work. I got a chance to use my brand new chem bench. It was making narcotics faster than ever. Then I realized I didn't have any gunpowder or charcoal, so I put my indie forge to work and then back to the chem bench would make some gunpowder super fast to get those trank darts. It was night and going into day 57 when I finally got back to look for him. This time I was able to use the trap and I got him in, but a stupid RG started attacking while I was trying to place the gate. It worked perfectly. Then I took out that RG with my new shotty. Suck it, bird. I shot him until the next morning and finally got him down and tamed without incident. Then I took him home to meet TT. They did a synchronized poop, so I knew they liked each other, and breeding would be no problem. I bless this union in the name of Bob and all those who came before us. Who did that? You two will be the beginning of my empire. My Rex army that will take over the ARK. I admit it may have gotten a little weird, but give me this one. It's been a long, stressful ride. And you know you talk to yours too. Spike, you bore witness to the birth. You too, Kid Dickerus. Bobcat, you weren't looking, but you heard it, so. And you were instrumental in the catching. You are my favorite. Don't tell Murder Chicken. Day 58 and 59 were spent breeding and building a wall around my base to protect my Rex army. By day 60, I had a good pair with the best stats on a male and female, so I started breeding, hatching, and imprinting my Rex army. I had a butt ton of Rexes and they were hungry. Don't ask me where I got the prime meat from. We don't talk about that. I found an awesome video on what settings you need to get 100% in one imprint on single player, which I'll link in the description. By day 61, it was getting crowded and confusing, so I started making saddles and naming my Rexes with number as I saddled them up. I know it's not very original, but it made it much easier to level them up later in groups of 5 and know who I had already taken. All told, I ended up with 24 imprinted Rexes, with 5 extra eggs and mom and dad in the fridge for safekeeping. I'd never found a good saddle, so they all had the basic one, unfortunately. Now, you may see some random Rexes outside. I put a group of low-stat babies outside the gate to see if they would survive, and they did. So I named them the Night's Watch and let them guard the wall. Day 63, I took a break from breeding and went to run the cave in the center near my house. But this fella was in the way.
What the hell are you doing? All right, get the hell out of there. Dumbass.
This cave was super easy. We cleared it with no problem, and we got the second artifact we needed to summon the Broodmother boss, which was a huge spider, by the way. On the way out, I tamed a dung beetle. These guys turn poop into fertilizer.
Oh my god.
But they are slow AF, so I set my monkey to follow and carried it home.
Come on, bub.
Apparently, I spent a whole day clearing and exploring that cave because it was day 65 when I got out. The biggest problem with this base was no access to water. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So I played around with the irrigation and water tanks trying to see what I could do.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I didn't figure it out, but at least I was collecting water now. Now you may be asking yourself, what's the green glow? Well, I got a Daedon and named him Doc at some point, but I couldn't find the footage, but here he is. His stats are okay. He heals for a minute or two anyway. On day 66, I played with the water some more and discovered I needed a water tap to actually drink. Big brain, right? I spent the rest of the day healing, feeding, and leveling everyone, and that night I took 11 of my fully healed Rexes to the Green Obelisk. This is where we would go to summon the boss. I was taking them early because I was worried about cryosickness, which is a cooldown timer between using cryopods, but for some reason it just wasn't a thing for me. It must have been a setting or something that was turned off. I know what you're wondering, and yes, they always drop a deuce when you throw them out. I threw down a feeding trough, box, and a bed too. On the way home, I noticed an Alpha Rex outside my base, munching on everything. But on the way back out, my Night's Watch Rexes had killed it and gotten a butt ton of levels. So I brought one of them home and gave him the name Alpha Killer. On day 67, I went to my second house to grab some blueprints, one of the tributes, and brought some more Rexes to the Green Obelisk.
Aww.
On day 68, I headed into the lava cave to get the final tribute. Thinking I had cleared the way, I grappled over to the artifact, and got killed by an Onyx, which is a big stupid bat. I came back in with only a crossbow and realized I wasn't going to kill the bat before he got to me, so I ran back to the safety of my Thyla after I totally grabbed this explorer's note on purpose, who happily avenged me. I recovered my stuff, the artifact, and started to head back out, when I noticed a sloot drop. But not the 4 bats guarding it. Notice how I bravely run away. I mean, masterfully dragged them over to my Thyla to kill. Yeah, one of those anyway. But hey, I did get this Mammoth which I never used, so there we are. Day 69, we finally had everything we needed to fight the Broodmother, except a Yudi.
Should we go look for a Yudi?
The correct answer here would have been no. You're not good at catching Udis. Just forget about it and go do the fight. But we decided to go home first, gather some materials, do a metal run, craft a bunch of armor, ammo, and then we got tired and took a nap on the front steps for a bit.
Everybody take 5.
Once I get out there on day 70, I realized I had forgotten my spyglass, and after not finding any crystal on white snowy mountains to make another one, I decided to take out my frustration on some of these little penguins and gather some more polymer. On the way home, I noticed some easy jellyfish I can kill. These give you biotoxin when harvested, which you can use to make shocking trank darts to knock out animals even faster than regular trank darts. I got my spyglass and used the poly to make a ton more cryopods. Day 71, I finally spotted a good one after many, many bad ones.
Come on, be the one. Oh, that's the one.
And go clear the area and lay down a trap. Using my RG to get him in isn't working, so I decide to go in on foot. I attempt to get him in my trap, but Udis are faster than they look, and I died. This started a day-long cycle of bad decisions, leading to pain, freezing, fear, anal bleeding, and death. You see, I don't have extra fur armor, because I'm a moron, and I had kept throwing out all the fur I had because it was so heavy, because I'm a moron. And I couldn't repair my original set, so I kept freezing to death. Again, moron. I realize I'm gonna die, so I try to get the Yudi in the trap one more time before I do. It didn't work. Here on my third RG, I decided to jump in this fight and get some fur, but I forgot to check my stamina first.
And I'm toast.
Oh! No, 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 I'm too heavy!
Oh God! Oh, that wasn't mine. Was it? I got 2 RGs. Okay. All right. I thought I lost you too. Sorry. I thought I shot you in the face.
Alright, I think I've got him now. I'm up on a ledge, he can't get to me, and I'm shooting down on him. And then my buddy decides to knock me off. No! Jesus Christ. Are you starting to get the picture on why I've never completed this before? Well, on day 72, I go back. And this time, I'm not messing around. No, I didn't actually tame the Yeti, but I brought 3 Rexes and we murdered everything in our path. It made me feel better. Yeah, you like that? Nom nom nom. It had been 5 days since I asked the question, should we get a Yeti? And we had nothing but pain and misery. And here we are on day 74, about to fight the Gamma Broodmother for the first time. I'm actually excited for this. We ready? Alright, somebody... I'm stuck! When we got in there, we were stuck together in a big pile, and we struggled to turn around to face the Broodmother. Oh, she's just pooping out the spiders. I finally got them on her, and we took her down pretty quick, although not all my Rexes circled around very well to get a hold of her. Yes! Suck on that shit! We were victorious in our first fight, and the pain from the last 5 days faded away. And we were teleported home to celebrate. We did it! Selfie time. Defeating the bosses unlocks the tech tier items. We got a Gamma Broodmother head trophy, 20 element, which is used to fuel the tech, and a witch hat skin. I don't know. We unlocked a couple Ingrams, but nothing we could really do anything with, especially since they took a ton of black pearls, which we didn't have. When I got back home, I built a Bob box and used it to store all my previous Bob implants. On day 76, I started the day by going fishing for prime fish meat, so I could try to tame a Baryonyx. You use the shotgun too, don't you? You see, a Baryonyx is a great land and water mount, and also great in caves. But I had no luck in finding one, and I really needed one to do the underwater caves and tame some underwater mounts. After looking all day for a Baryonyx, I spotted a level 120 Sarco and decided to tame it as a backup underwater mount just in case. But he had a friend that got in the way. I used the shocking trait darts and took him down in only 5 shots. It wasn't until day 77 that I saw a decent level Baryonyx, so I threw down a quick trap and began taming. I needed to run and grab some more prime fish meat as mine had spoiled by now, so I secured him with a spiked wall for protection and went to go get it. He tamed up easily after that. I went home to prepare for my underwater adventures and put some lights in my base to make it a little easier to see. Then I decided I wanted to make a beer barrel, because why not? But I wasted half the next morning trying to figure out how to irrigate it. I never did and just ended up filling it manually. I then took my Baryonyx out to level. The Baryonyx has this spin attack in the water that's just incredible. It stuns almost everything and gives you time to munch it at your leisure. The morning of day 79, I headed out in search of a Basiliosaurus, or Bassie. Underwater, you not only have to worry about things trying to eat you, but you also have to worry about things shocking you and grabbing you. But the Bassie was immune to these shocking attacks, as well as being grabbed by the giant squid. They can be pretty tanky too if you get a high enough level one. I haven't spent much time at all underwater, and I never tamed anything past a shark, so I was freaking out a little bit down here, I'm not gonna lie. What the shit? Oh, that's a rock. Dude, I thought that was a huge fish. I spent all day looking, and the only one I could find was a level 25, so fearing that I would run out of time, I decided to tame it. They were passive tame, so it was pretty easy. Of course, I named her Crappy Bassie. But honestly, after some leveling, she wasn't half bad. Check out my hair, though. Oh, and did I mention they can do this? Oh. On day 80, I spent some time leveling her up and got her over 20,000 health and 300 melee, so I started to feel a little bit better about taking her in the easy underwater cave. Then we headed home to gear up for some more cave running. Oh, I also got this new skin for unlocking most of the map and tried that on. Wait a minute. Is that my butt crack? Dude, pull your pants up. I don't want to see your butt crack and your dick trunk. Gross. Day 81, we headed into the first underwater cave, which is called the Easy Underwater Cave. And I was doing pretty good, I think. I snuck past this mosasaur, cryoed my Bassie, and, well, then I almost got it killed when I jumped off and she got cornered. She lost 75% of her health, so I spent the next 10 minutes healing her up before I continued. I finally got to the artifact, and I also found a BP for an Ascendant Flak chest piece, but I had spent all day in that underwater cave and time was starting to run out.
Jesus.
Day 82, I take my baryonyx into the next cave, and after clearing it, I get lost as heck for 10 minutes. I finally decided to watch a video and saw that you needed to find this invisible hole to grapple into. Wrong hole. Watched it again. Found the right hole. This was what I was looking for. We had wasted a whole day in there, so on day 83, we headed to Carno Island for the final artifact needed to fight the big monkey boss, or Megapithecus, or however you say it. I'm still looking for a Rex saddle BP, as well as some good armor, so I grabbed a few drops on the way.
You fucking kidding me?
I put a box on my boat to hold the other 2 artifacts just to be safe, and I headed to the cave with my Thyla Bobcat. I cautiously made my way down and found my first good fur armor BP. I grabbed the final artifact and headed out. This was the easiest by far. I was feeling pretty good about making it through all 3 caves without dying or losing anything. By the time I had the Rexes assembled and all the artifacts, it was day 84 and we headed in to fight the monkey boss.
Alright guys, wait for him to get in the middle.
I spread out my Rexes a little bit, shot him in the face, and drug him back over here where we were to have a better place to fight. And my guys shredded him.
Get on that ass. You're done, bitch! Good job!
We had done it. We defeated the second boss, and took a selfie, and headed back to keep going. I spent the rest of day 84 gathering materials and coming up with a plan. On day 85, I built a water tower, and I ran some drops to get some pelt, and I tried one more time at a Yudi. And this happened. He almost got me.
Don't go in the water, don't go in the water!
But we went in the water. And Billy and I had a talk.
Quit being a big puss.
On day 86, I saw that the water tower was working, so I expanded it and went on a metal run. I ended the day back in the water searching for a better Basilosaurus or a high-level Ichthyosaurus. There are 2 ways to do the hard underwater cave. One is by brute force with a high-level Bassi. The other is quick, with a very fast, leveled-up Ichthy. I'd take either at this point. The morning of day 87, I had found a level 80 Bassi, and I decided to tame it. I had run out of prime meat, so I popped up to Carno Island to grab some and went back to tame her up. She liked that much better. While leveling her up, I grabbed a 120 Ichthy, then packed up, and feeling lucky, I decided to go look for a Yudi one more time. I found a good level one, and after shooting it for what seemed like an eternity, I got it on the run, and then got it stuck in this crevice. They just won't make it easy for me, guys. But I was able to knock it out this time. And it fell through the mesh and into an iceberg. Oh my god, I almost lost my mind here.
Are you shitting me?
It looked like I could access him through his foot to feed him, so I had a little bit of hope. After waiting until morning, I put prime meat on her and she popped up ready to go.
Oh, you're up! Come here! Oh! I've been thinking about this for a long time. I don't know how to spell it.
Feeling victorious at last, after all this time searching and failing, I had a Uteranus. I named her Mr. Snuffleupagus, cryoed her, and headed home to have a beer. This guy likes beer too, so I tamed him up and made him my beer buddy.
Well, what's going on? I'm tired, I didn't do anything. Come on, give me a piggyback ride. Beer buddy, let's throw it. Ugh. Get him.
We chunked a few rocks at Poop Cows.
Nice. You look like a horse. Or a donkey.
And discussed our family history.
Are you a donkey? I'm down with that.
Day 89, I entered the swamp cave. Now this cave is poisonous, and since I couldn't make a gas mask yet, I used a combination of ghillie and scuba gear to avoid taking damage. And to say there's a lot of bugs in here is an understatement. Long story short, I got lost, I wandered in and out of the cave, and then finally I jumped off to go through this little crevice and was killed, which led to me dying a couple more times because I didn't have a backup set of gear. Shit. I finally discovered that my original set of gear had glitched through the map and I was not getting my good stuff back. So, after wasting a day and a half in there, I grabbed the artifact and got the hell out of there. I went home and grabbed Mr. Snuffleupagus and headed to the Redwoods to kill everything and level up. I had lost my frog, so I was looking for him too. And I never did find him. Day 92, I go to the so-called Easy Snow Cave, which is too small for a mount, so you have to go in on foot. Now, the dude who guided me through all the other caves on YouTube said to go this way with the grapple, but he did die while doing it, so I probably should have looked for another video. because I died too after getting pushed off by this stupid bat. I had lost my 2 best kits now, my shotgun, all my ammo, and so I spent the rest of the day making more ammo and setting down my cooking pot and making some food to help with the cold. That night I headed back, but was still freezing to death. Day 93 I got the artifact and then thought I'd go back to see if I could get it a second time, and discovered there's a different way that didn't involve swinging over a chasm of death. So I'd probably go that way if I were you. Since I'm up there and need to take out a little frustration, I go on a poly run. Then I get home and finish cooking up some med brews. Water never worked, so I had to run back and forth to fill the industrial cooker, which is pretty annoying. I spent day 94 back in the water where I immediately got my ichthy killed while trying to level it up and tamed another one and got it killed too. So I just grabbed one, cryoed it before I did it a third time, and I guess I'm going in on a Bassie. Day 95 I go into the hard ice cave, and I'm not messing around. So I noticed that inside had some really big rooms once you crawl in, so I decided to get Murder Chicken in on the action, as well as a pair of Rexes. I slowly and carefully cleared the first 2 big areas and was feeling good about myself when I realized I needed some more food. So I ran outside to make a fire to warm up and cook some meat, but when I came back, one of my Rexes had disappeared. Just gone. I don't know, never saw him again. So I pressed on with one, but it wasn't nearly as strong without the mate boost. I was feeding him to keep him alive, but also growing impatient as we moved towards day 96. I took him through the next big area and he got mobbed. When I ran in to help, I got nailed by a Perlovia and killed. My Rex died and I was terrified I was going to lose my Thyla as well. I took Murder Chicken back in to try to salvage the situation, and when I got to my Bobcat, he was barely alive, down to 1500 HP. I had to hustle back out as I was freezing to death and my med brews were still with my body. I wasn't able to get my stuff and was still freezing, so I fast traveled home, grabbed some more med brews, checked to see if I had any better armor, and got 3 new Rexes as well as my Daeodon to heal my Thyla. I went back in there on day 97 with a fresh pair of Rexes and Murder Chicken, and I got my stuff. We continued to clear the cave, but I seemed to keep wandering in circles, and by noon on day 97, I realized I just wasn't going to make it. I didn't have time to get the trophies because I still needed to level up my ichthy without killing it if I was going to run the hard underwater cave. Seriously guys, these caves are way harder than the boss fight. So after being tired of freezing to death, I decided to pack it in. I headed home to add 2 more dead bobs to the box and see what I could think of to finish the 100 days the best way possible. I had decided if I couldn't fight the dragon and the overseer that I would fight the hardest bosses I could. So I spent the next 2 days farming up artifacts and what I needed to go into the boss fights. On day 100, I loaded up and jumped in to fight the Beta Megapithecus. All right, you ready? Get out of the way. There we go. I don't think I've ever gone over this, but the Uteranus, in addition to the fear roar that freaked out my bird and gave me such a hard time, it also has a courage roar that it uses on your allies. This lets you deal increased damage and you receive decreased damage, so it just makes your guys stronger and more courageous. It's pretty awesome. That's why I wanted the Ute. You can see him glowing yellow, that's how you know it's working. I just sat back on the Uteranus and hit the roar every time I could, and the Rexes did the rest. We shredded this thing. I feel like we probably could have taken down the Alpha if I had the stuff for it. Did it! After taking down the Beta Monkey boss, I ran up to his lair and took a few selfies. We hadn't achieved our goal of ascension off the island in 100 days for a Bob, but we've had a lot of fun along the journey. I kind of felt like I was rushing it at the end and I missed out on some things I would like to do, so guys, if you'll hit that like button, if I can get 1,000 likes, I'll do another 100 days and we'll go to 200 on this save. We had beaten the Megapithecus, and if I ended the video right now, it would have been glorious. But I'm Survival Bob, and I don't always make the best decisions. Alpha. So, I decided to fight the Alpha Broodmother. And here we go. This happened. This one pretty much started off the same as last time, except that I had my back to her. We still had a hard time turning around and facing her. I've got to figure that out and get better at it. But we started hitting on her eventually. Get out! Oh. I just can't see anything in here. It's just a mass of dark bodies. And then
No, 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 don't dismount! I hit the wrong button and dismounted my Yudi. That's when the problem started. It was such a cluster in there, I couldn't tell where it was or if it was even close to me. So I just went with it and tried to ride it out on the Rex. This is not what we're looking for. And of course, my Yudi not being meant for frontline battle. No, my Yudi! Died immediately. No! Alpha killer's down! It's not going great, but we are inflicting damage and I can see us making a dent. So I've got a little bit of hope. All right, we got this. We got this. We've lost some brothers, but we got this. Oh, shit. And then my Rexes start dropping. Come on, wrap around, guys. Let's go. First, it's one at a time. Jesus. Finish her. Then it's 2 or 3. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. No! And then it snowballs until it's just me. I thought we had it. I dismounted my Yudi, and everything went to hell. Not quite the ending I had in mind. I'm recording this voiceover a little over a week later, and it still hurts. You guys can help me out by hitting that like button, leaving a comment, sharing this with your friends, subscribing to the channel, hitting notifications, all of that stuff to support the channel if you want to see more of it. I had a blast. I've got lots of plans for the next series. Let me know if you want me to do that in the comments down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching and going on this journey with me. This is Survival Bob saying, if you're going to be a Bob, have fun with it. Oh, and don't dismount your Yudi. Ever. Glue your ass to his saddle. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.